Good evening, you're now with me, Lorenzo Isaac, for TVS Nightline. We begin with this story. The practice of planning finances early to perform the QURBAN ritual is becoming increasingly common among the Muslim community in Sarawak. According to Sarawak Premier Datuk Peninggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg, the culture of consistently saving throughout the year has enabled more Muslims to participate in the religious practice while also reflecting a high level of financial management awareness and discipline. The growing trend not only reflects greater awareness among Muslims in fulfilling their religious obligations, indicating stronger economic stability and financial resilience within the community. He also noted the approach implemented by staff and management of the Kuching North City Hall DBKU could serve as a good example where employees voluntarily save money each month in preparation for purchasing sacrificial animals, as the practice can also be regarded as a form of charitable endowment and future preparation for the benefit of the wider community.
Umpamanya seperti DBKU, ahli-ahli pentadbiran DBKU, stafnya telah menyimpan setiap bulan wang di mana mereka secara volunteer memberikan peruntukan untuk membeli sapi, haiwan yang pada hemat saya sekarang agak tinggi juga. Secara average yang 1,000 satu ekor, 10,000 satu ekor. Jadi sekarang nampaknya masyarakat Islam ada mempunyai awareness, kesedaran untuk berkorban. Mereka berkorban lebih awal dengan menyimpankan dana untuk membeli haiwan apabila masanya sampai.
Tensions are rising once again in West Asia as Iran strongly condemns what it calls violations of a ceasefire agreement following U.S. strikes on the southern port city of Bandar Abbas. Iran's foreign ministry has warned that the country will take all necessary measures to defend its sovereignty, while also expressing solidarity with Oman after former U.S. President Donald Trump reportedly threatened to blow them up. More on this developing story from Yusuf Shukri.
Thank you, Lorenzo. The latest exchange of accusations is fueling fears of renewed instability in the region, with global attention now focused on the growing diplomatic and military tensions between Tehran and Washington. The Iranian Revolutionary Guards IRGC targeted an American base on Thursday in retaliation for U.S. strikes on the country's south, Iran state broadcaster IRIB reported. Following this morning's aggression by the invading U.S. military against a location on the outskirts of Bandar Abbas Airport using aerial projectiles, the American airbase that served as the source of the attack was targeted at 120 Greenwich Mean Time, in which, according to IRIB, it did not provide details of the location of the base, though Kuwait, a U.S. ally, says it was responding to missiles and drone attacks on Thursday morning.
روابط عمومی سپاه اعلام کرد در پی تعرض سحرگاه امروز ارتش متجاوز آمریکا به نقطه‌ای در حاشیه فرودگاه بندر عباس با پرتابه‌های هوایی پایگاه هوایی آمریکایی مبدأ تجاوز در ساعت 4:50 بامداد هدف قرار گرفت. سپاه پاسداران انقلاب اسلامی هشدار داد این پاسخ یک اخطار جدی است تا دشمن بداند تجاوز بدون پاسخ نخواهد ماند و در صورت تکرار پاسخ قاطع‌تر خواهد بود و مسئولیت عواقب آن با متجاوز است.
Lebanese residents sifted through debris and smoking wreckage in the southern coastal city of Tyre after heavy Israeli strikes before dawn. Lebanon's health ministry says the death toll has risen to 3,269, with 56 killed in the past 24 hours following intensified Israeli bombardment. Despite a ceasefire declared in mid-April, fighting has persisted. Israel continues military operations in Lebanon, while Hezbollah regularly fires drones at Israeli troops and northern Israel. A resident, Ghazwan Halawani, accused Israel of targeting both the city and its heritage. Halawani vowed residents would not abandon the city despite the destruction.
اللي عم يستهدفوا العدو الإسرائيلي بمدينة صور هو تاريخها وحضارتها. عم يستهدف هذه المدينة اللي لا مثيل إلها لولا الشرق الأوسط، ومهما عمل ما راح يقدر يركعها ويعمل ويزيد من أنت عم تضرب بنايات وحجر وعم بيروح شهداء، ولكن هو بده يطلعوا من تحت الأرض ويرجعوا يعمروها.
طبعا انتقام لأنه انأذى هو منيح فوق عم ينتقم هون بالمدينة.
Now, Tehran residents are rejoicing as access to the global internet has been restored after 87 days of complete blockage, though some do not share the enthusiasm over the network's return. Iranian authorities restricted access to foreign websites and messengers on national security grounds following the US and Israeli attack and a series of sabotage attempts against the country's leadership. Access to the global internet was partially restored in Tehran on Tuesday. Others, however, view this with concern, believing that the activities of large Western corporations harm the state. A whitelist system had been activated in Iran amid the conflict with the US and Israel. The costs of circumventing blocks through special VPN servers reach $100 for 20 gigabytes of traffic. Iranian authorities decided to restore internet access on Monday but did not specify a timeline for completing the process. Now, oil prices bounced higher on Thursday while Asian stocks fell as new U.S. strikes on Iran mark the latest test of a shaky ceasefire in the West Asia war. The price jumps erased much of Wednesday's decline on the hopes of an imminent deal to end the conflict that has all but halted shipping through the crucial Strait of Hormuz for months. The mixed signals underscored the fragile state of talks aimed at ending the war, which has profoundly shaken global energy markets. Brent North Sea crude, the main international benchmark, rose more than 2% during Thursday trade to nearly $97 a barrel, while the main U.S. contract, WTI, increased at a similar pace to around $91 a barrel. Wall Street stocks opened higher Wednesday, extending a strong period for equities after Iranian comments on the current situation, which sent oil prices lower. Crude prices fell decisively after Iran's Revolutionary Guard says a return to war with the United States was unlikely. Now, those are some of the latest developments from the escalating conflict in West Asia. For more updates, don't forget to head on to tvsarawak.my and TVS Inspire. Now back to Lorenzo for the rest of tonight's report.
At least 16 students were killed and several others injured early Thursday after a fire swept through a dormitory at Utumishi Girls Academy, northwest of Kenya's capital, Nairobi. According to local police, the blaze broke out around 1 a.m. local time. Firefighters and rescue teams responded to contain the fire and evacuate students from the dormitory. Several injured students were taken to nearby hospitals, while some students remain unaccounted for as search efforts continue. The cause of the fire remains under investigation, with criminal investigators and forensic experts at the scene. Back to local news, the Negeri Sembilan Social Welfare Department JKM is investigating the death of an 11-month-old baby girl believed to have drowned in a bucket of water while under the care of her grandmother in Seremban. While it provides psychosocial support to the family, Minister of Women, Family and Community Wellbeing, Datuk Sri Nancy Shukri, says her ministry will need to have a sit-down session with the victim's family member to have a clearer understanding on the case. No police report has been filed so far, but JKM protection officers have already taken early steps to support the family.
Sebenarnya kes itu pihak kita sedang mahu nak menembubualkan keluarga sebab selama itu tidak ada laporan. So ini adalah lebih kepada penjagaan di kalangan keluarga. Jadi tetapi pengadu sudah mengadu. Cuma laporan polis setakat yang saya tahu semalam belum ada dibuat. Tapi pihak JKM sudah tahu, JKM Negeri Sembilan.
She adds that the main focus now is to provide psychosocial support to the family as the case involved family members, while the actual cause of the incident remains under investigation. On a separate development, JKM resumed efforts to trace the biological parents and relatives of an infant who was left at a baby hatch in Johor Bahru. And he says signs does not point to abandonment as the baby was left with a name, Ainul Inayah Abdul Hadi. She also says JKM has so far been unable to locate the baby's family. However, a court order has been obtained to allow temporary custody to be granted to a suitable and qualified individual.
Setakat saya dapat maklumat malas malam belum dapat menemui ahli keluarganya, cuma JKM telah mendapat perintah mahkamah untuk mendapatkan penjagaan untuk orang yang layak dan sesuai, dan masih lagi berusaha untuk mendapatkan siapa waris yang sebenarnya, ibu bapaknya. Jadi setakat ini begitu, cuma kita mengharapkan adalah warisnya datang.
Nancy adds that the mother's decision to leave the baby at a baby hatch instead of an unsafe location shows there was still consideration for the child's safety. She also stresses that the ministry welcomes the establishment of baby hatches by parties genuinely committed to helping reduce social problems while safeguarding the welfare of both mothers and babies.
The General Operations Force (GOF) Sarawak Brigade seized over 342,000 litres of subsidised diesel worth an estimated 1.8 million ringgit under activities conducted across several locations in the state since March 16. Its Commander Senior Assistant Commissioner Lim Bak Fai says various assets and equipment, including tanker, lorries, heavy machinery and skid tanks, were also confiscated worth nearly 17.5 million ringgit.
Lim adds that the operation also led to the seizure of more than 5 tons of subsidized cooking oil worth close to 40,000 ringgit, as well as more than 7 tons of coarse sugar valued at over 31,000 ringgit. Including vehicles, the total value of the seizures was nearly 950,000 ringgit. Lim adds continuous operations have uncovered several modus operandi used by syndicates, including the storage, transfer and distribution of diesel without permits, believed to be linked to controlled goods smuggling networks in the state. All arrests and seized items have been handed over to the Ministry of Domestic Trade and Cost of Living, KPDN, for further investigation under Section 21 of the Control of Supplies Act 1961.
Get all the updates you need all in one app. TVS Inspire brings you live updates on events, news and programs. Available now on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. TVS Inspire will on your screen anytime, anywhere. Those were the updates on TVS Nightline. I'm Lorenzo Isaac. Thank you for watching and have a good night.